honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Yes, everyone, welcome to another edition of The Warm Down. Today, joined by BT Sport pundit and Manchester United Champions League winning captain, Rio Ferdinand. How you doing, man?
How you doing? You alright?
I'm alright.
Good.
Now, obviously, we've not got the best of starts going in the knockout stages. Do you think we've got any hope of getting through?
No. No, I don't. I think the injuries we've just got as well that we've picked up, I don't think we'll deal with them as well as the way that PSG dealt with their injuries coming to Old Trafford. They missed Cavani and Neymar and still give us a bit of a lesson. But I weren't one of the ones to get too negative after that game against PSG. When the draw was made, we weren't expected to win that. We weren't expected to go through. And even though the improvements to the squad and the results and the whole vibe around Old Trafford that Ole and his staff have made, I still had PSG as big favourites for that game because I was hopeful that we'd do well, but I just think PSG are at a different level to us at the moment in terms of where they are to compete in European level.
First half of that first leg, though, there's only one team winning that, wasn't there? Would you agree?
I still felt PSG were in control. I just thought they looked more comfortable. Anytime they went over the halfway line, we looked scared, and I just felt I don't know. We couldn't see the sloppy goals, but I just felt this was the first time I've seen the PSG side look professional and look like they were just about their business rather than the frills and spills.
So, with the second leg being upon us, what would a player now do going into this game? What's your mindset if you're one of the lads going into this game now?
Oh, you're going in to try and win it. You obviously, whatever the team the manager puts out, you're going out there to win. There's no people saying, "Oh, you just let this game." You don't. There's no gimmies. You just give away games. You don't just throw away a game and say, "Oh, we don't fancy that." That's not in a player's DNA, or it shouldn't be. So whatever team goes out there, I'm sure that they'll be going out there to try and win the game. But to go to the Parc de France is a big ask and try and get a win.
1994, we went to the new camp with the foreigner rule really hampering us. We saw Nicky Butt and Ryan Giggs start, and we got absolutely tore to pieces by Romario and that.
Oh yeah, Stoichkov, them guys.
Are we potentially looking at another scenario like that? Do you reckon?
No, I don't think so. I think the way that Ole will set them up will be I'm sure there won't be big spaces and gaps around the whole team. Well, I'd like to think not anyway, but. It's a chance for Ole to have a look at some young players, I think, as well. That's what if I was Ole now, I'd say let's have a look at some of the young players. You've got some young players that are coming through. It's a big stage for them to go and play, and I know, but give experience, I would say, and I think that's always been part of Manchester United's DNA. The only thing that would probably make people might go against that is saying, listen, if they was to go there play a younger team, could their confidence get damaged but with a big defeat? I understand that, but there's a balance between introducing young players you can try and do that with. Well,
like I said, Nicky Butt and Ryan Giggs, they had all right careers, I guess. You could say after that slapping in Nou Camp. So maybe it steals something. Maybe if you've got the right mentality anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
but you remember that they come into a team full of men. In that team, there's a group of real men within that team. So I think it's a bit different now. They had a stable team then as well, stable dressing room where there's instabilities that are still in behind the scenes. I'm sure that the memories of the past regime are still there.
How far away from being a Champions League competing team do you think United are at the minute?
Yes, I think still quite away. I think there's teams ahead in England, let alone in Europe, on the march for the Champions League glory. So I think United have to look at home first, look at the Premier League before they start thinking about Champions League. It'd be lovely if they could do that, but at the moment they've got to get it right on our doorstep, and I think their recruitment's going to be vital going forward.
On that then, is there a centre half out there in world football? Because for me that's the most important position we've got to sort out. I think Lindelof's looking decent of late, but we don't know who's going to partner him. It's a different guy every week. Is there anyone out there in world football you think could have the effect Van Dijk's had for Liverpool?
No, not at the moment. I don't see it. There's potential players who I think are very good players. I think De Ligt at Ajax is a fantastic player. We played against him when he was 18, I think 17 or 18 in the Europa League final. I would have took him then. Koulibaly's been talked of from Napoli. I watched him against Liverpool in the Champions League, and Salah done him for one of their goals, but he's human, so that mistakes can happen. But there aren't Jimenez at Atletico Madrid. I like him. There are loads of players out there, but are they Man United players? That's a difference. we've seen a lot of turnover of players coming to Man United over the last few years, and they're good players at their clubs. They've done really well for their clubs, but are they Man United players? And I think that's what we need to get right going forward.
What is that to you? What is a Man United player? Is it more mental?
Yeah, mental, hungry player. All the players that come to Man United and stay for a long years, they're hungry. They've got a desire to improve, to be a part of the history, understand the history of the club. But again, it's a different time, because that comes with having a team, a squad that players can go into and learn from as well. And I think we haven't had that for a while because of the instabilities of the change of turnover of managers. So hopefully now, with Ole, I feel we'll get the job at the end of the season. We can get that stability back, and then we can start breeding them players, and whether it's young, hungry players or established players that have still got something to prove. I
was going to ask you that anyway next. Do you think Ole's done enough to get the job full time?
I think he's made it impossible to not be given the job. I think no one could have dreamed that he would do what he's done since he's been there, and I think he's done he's reinvigorated the staff beyond the players. Do you know what I mean? The kit men, the dinner ladies, the receptionists. Like, people you laugh. These are important people within the framework of the football club, because if these people aren't happy, the whole ambience around the training ground, around the stadium is negative, and that's how it's been for far too long. So I went there last week Thursday to training ground. The whole place is picked up. The different body language of everyone's different.
I had Quinton Fortune on the podcast last week, and he was saying he feels like he's able to go to the training ground at the moment. He said he didn't feel like it was possible under the previous
I think
manager.
A lot of my players I've spoken to loads of players, ex-players, that feel that warmth is probably back in the corridors that kind of was gone for a little bit, and it's a shame really, because I think the people, that warmth, that bringing the older players in. I remember I was talking to Fletch this morning actually. We've got like a group, we chatting, and we were talking about this, and when Robbo used to come to the training ground, or Laurent Blanc might come, he was only there a little while, but players that played previously, they come to the training ground and watch, all the players would go over, how you doing? How you doing? There's a respect. Do you know what I mean? There was a we wanted it, we enjoyed them coming to the training ground, and it hasn't been like that for a while. Not that the players didn't want the people there, but that's just a reminder of the history. You know what I mean? Them little details there are big things, I think, because as a coach or as a player himself, you look over and go, whoa, or someone says to you, like, he was here 10 years, you know. Remember what they won. That's like a, and for a player, the reaction should be, I want to replicate that. I'm going to go beyond that. Watch. That's what it should be, and I thought that would maybe have been taken away a little bit.
Just on Champions League, we are talking about Champions League, and obviously you need to check out BT Sport coverage of the Champions League if you're not going to Paris. I hear sightseeing is probably pretty good. I'll probably avoid the match. 99 Champions League winning team, the treble winning team with Ole in it, or your Champions League winning team. I know you might be biased on this. Which is the better team and why?
They're both great teams, obviously, but I just think our team was just probably a bit more dynamic than their team. I think there's loads of quality in both sides, but I just feel that we'd have had a bit too much for them going forward. Don't think they'd have been able to contain us. Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, nah, they're not dealing with that. They won't be able to deal with it. Sorry.
Wes Brown told me that you'd worked on him prior to the final, isolating Ronaldo against Essien, which obviously is where the goal came from.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that was worked on like that you can remember that didn't come off?
No, I remember that. I think that we created a lot of chances in the first half, and that was the plan, to hit them quick, especially the turnover. Once you turn the ball over, to don't dilly-dally, hit them quick. I remember Wazza played an unbelievable 60-yard ball to Tevez, and then we get in chances. Tevez missed a couple of, they made great saves or whatever, but we played the game plan in the first half completely right. Then second half, it was like the game flipped. They created the chances, hit the woodwork, etc., and then extra time kind of fizzled out. But yeah, I think that game was a great game. Do you know what I mean? It's part of history now, and we're fortunate enough to be a big part of that.
Do you remember what you was thinking as you was walking out? Because I remember the camera zooms right on you. I don't know if you've watched it back again. It zooms right on you. I think you're looking at it saying "believe in the crowd." Do you remember what you was thinking?
I just didn't look at the trophy because I thought it was bad luck. I mean, the night before I'd done the press conference with the gaffer, and the trophy was, and I was like, no, I ain't touching it. I don't want to be anywhere. I didn't even want to look at it because I was really conscious that ball might bring some bad luck, and I was quite superstitious when I played. But no, it was a great time. It was a culmination of a lot of hard work that had gone into the years previous, 2-3 years building that team. We went a couple of years without winning when Chelsea won. And I remember the manager saying to me, "Listen, Rio, stick with us, stick with me. I'll get this right, don't worry." And you can't do nothing but believe in a great man when he says something like that, and he built another great team.
50 years on from Munich, 40 years on from the first time that we won the European Cup, the Champions League. Bobby Charlton was there for the celebrations. Can you remember anything he said to you?
Yeah, he come up to me we was watching Chelsea go up and pick up their runners-up medals, and obviously our team have to stand down at the bottom and clap them up and down the stairs, and I was obviously at the front as the captain, and I remember Sir Bobby Charlton come out of nowhere, and he just pulled me and he said, like, "Listen, like, not many captains get to do this.
He's one of them.
Exactly, and captains of Man United. Just to remember what that means, like, and enjoy it." Like, almost brought me to bloody tears. But it was, he was just a great man. He's just a lovely guy, man. And he's just, again, Sir Bobby Charlton just epitomised the history, everything that's about Manchester United. To see him around the place all the time when we used to travel to games, see him after games coming to the change room, win, lose or draw, being there, seeing these regular faces that mean so much to the history of the club. You can't bring no players in from foreign countries or wherever, or kids come through the system. When you see someone like that or people like that around the training ground, around the games and that, you can't fail but to buy into the history of the club, and that means a lot.
And on that note, we can't go anywhere after that. Rio, thank you very much.
Nice one. All right.
Make sure to check out BT Sport for the game if you're not going. Laters.